Welcome back, y'all. Tyler Talks. Been gone for a little minute. I think it's been like 2 weeks since I've done a video. To be fair, y'all have gotten some articles. So, some spoiler articles. I took, I don't know, life got busy in a good way. So we had like a charity golf tournament, and it was Mother's Day. Then I had to drive down to Atlanta for work. Came back Tuesday night, and then Friday night went to Charleston for a wedding. Came back Monday, and then it's Memorial Day. So, or yesterday was Memorial Day, and they were outside and on the lake and having a blast. So it's been fun, but I haven't been doing really as much redemption lately. Once Inheritance went to print, it's kind of nice because we, like the design team, we just keep going. So we will have, and if you're still playing like competitively, like I am, um, you'll be playing, go into tournament season, do some traveling there, go into nationals. And if you've been to nationals before, you know how exhausting it can be in a good way. But I judge 2 days, I play another day, it's very constant. And then shortly after that, we take a little break. But for me, it's prepping the next set. So I like to have the next set done to where we can kind of take off on August and then go into the next set in September. And then we work on that all the way through. So it's very busy. So when the set goes to print, it's kind of like a nice breather. And then since I'm doing spoilers, I got to write the articles too. So, it's something I'm doing. But I enjoy it. Just when I get busy with life, um, I don't do as much videos. So, what I've seen in the past from the redemption community, that people forget certain cards are really good. I'm not sure why, but people will just not play certain cards. They'll play them for a long time, and then they just kind of fizzle out. Key one being Numerous as the Stars, and Delivered's another one. Now, I like stocks in a deck with Delivered because if you have a character that can play Delivered on good and evil, and you can go into a stocks and you can make your Delivered a battle winner, is very good. I'm not doing it in this deck, um, but that's a very good play. And you also get the good star, um, and then you get the additional speed just based on how you're using Delivered. Numerous is arguably the best resource generator. I know it takes the extent of deck building to make it that, but you can have 9 cards in your hand, Numerous being one of them, and as long as you have a hero to play it, you play Numerous, you can have 8 star cards in your hand, and one card can become 8. That is unheard of in other games, like other card games. You just generating that many resources from one card and being heroes is pretty good. So what I was talking to Jeremy Chambers, him and I were going about Numerous. Jeremy loves Numerous as the Stars. I was like, yeah, I don't know why I don't see it anymore. Maybe it's the colors, the brigades of the card, but um, and maybe it's just not needed. Maybe there's just speed in general. I'm not sure, but if I could pop out 6 heroes on turn 1 or 2, that really puts me in the driver's seat. So what we'd like to do here is we have 2 of the big band cards in the main deck, 1 in the reserve, and then we got Zacchaeus and Mary. Mary is just one of the best attacks in the game due to initiative and grabbing a resource and being CBN. Can just grab whatever you have in the reserve that is a star card, and then being able to just be a 1/3 is phenomenal. Really just need to watch out for this card, Aird's Temple. She doesn't like to be tossed. Um, but it's very good. Just having a 1-3 that can grab anything. Um, probably put Coming Prince in here instead of No Need for Spices and try to get 2 Flight into Egypts. Not a bad play. I also don't have good seed. That could come in here as well. But what you're really trying to do is go out with Mary and play Child is Born and Hospital. You're really just trying to do a mass band off of Numerous, and just bring in Zacchaeus and John the Fisherman. Martha's nice, of course, and then you want to negate evil cards if you're not tossing the next. It's really just strong attacks with a ton of heroes. The other thing you're trying to do is when you get out all your heroes, this deck's very easy to get your hand down, so it gets off to a big burst. I would like to incorporate ways to see their hand. I'll do a separate video of John the Forerunner with 20 shekels. I think that's very good. I always have. And if you can just look at their hand, play an evil character, get your hand down to where it needs to be, you just kind of walk in with John the Forerunner. Literally, they can't block. So it's very good. And then you're kind of hoping you have some chump blocks or Herod the Great with toss for a block as well. So I actually like John the Forerunner. I do think you could play like white gold with Zacchaeus teaching in parables, John the Forerunner, and the banding enhancements with like Talitha Cum and Simon of Cyrene and stuff like that. I think that would be a very good deck that's sneaky but very strong. So I don't think this will be a long video. We've seen offenses like this before, just GOC good stuff. But key point is, why do people stop playing this card when it can do so much? And I'm not really seeing Delivered as well. I used to jam Delivered into everything. So just kind of bringing up some cards. I don't see Moss. I brought up months and months ago, as a Rules Temple Discord, that do we think there's an Uzzah, Firefox's, Moss kind of chump defense, maybe Amalekite Slave, Haman's Plot, kind of like old school Redemption, where you have Haman that grabs Plot and plays it, and you have, like I said, Moss and Firefoxes that can just go out, die. The fact that you can discard an artifact, not your artifact, is already good. And then you can protect Lost Souls from rescue. More than likely, they are going to draw in the early game. So, and if it's not a block, you could underdeck it with one of your Lost Souls, or just put it down and get your numbers down. You just don't want to put it down for choose a blocker, so you just got to be aware of that. But I'm just not seeing Moss played because people look at it like, oh, I have nothing to play on it. It could be negated. When really you can just block with it early on and get a block and move on. So kind of have to realize, why are you blocking? Sure, you don't want the opponent to get a Lost Soul. That's a given. However, if you're blocking, you are allowing the opponent to have a chance to do something. So when you block, just know, have a reason to be blocking. And what I mean by that is, are you trying to get rid of their heroes or their resources? Are you trying to gather resources? Are you trying to draw and search? Are you trying to set up your attack? Which that's what a lot of defense is. You should kind of keep that in mind. That, hey, if I can't do a quick block, then I want to set myself up for next turn. Sometimes you can kind of see how the game's going and what your opponent might have, and block knowing you might have to go back and forth for a little bit. Um, just remember, the more you go back and forth, the more your opponent's probably gaining resources, and the longer the game's taking, and you're giving your opponent more time. So sometimes if you don't have a block, just move on, or hey, if it didn't work, just it didn't work and move quickly. That's kind of why they're both in here. Just kind of get a quick block early on, a quick block turn 2, hope to get the Saul block, and just have a few like guaranteed. Um, if I wasn't doing numerous, then I would take out like 1, 2, and maybe Claudius, and bring in like Heyman and Plot, and like change things up. I don't really think, to be honest, I don't really think you need evil enhancements for defense. I know that sounds crazy coming from me. I think you can just be fine with a Saul that gets a couple, Herod the Great with a temple for a block, these guys, Uzzah, and then Heyman can grab Heyman's Plot, so maybe that's like the only enhancement you run. But I do think you can bring your defense down and be aggressive and still get blocks. Like, I like to play defense. It's just something I prefer. So I do characters and enhancements to where I'm trying to whittle away all the opponent's heroes. However, if you're not used to that style, or you just don't like it, or maybe you're not good at it because you haven't done it before, that's perfectly fine. And you're like, hey, maybe that's that style defense I want to play later on. Then I would say try like the chump defense, and maybe I'll do that with the John the Forerunner, where I need to just put down characters and get blocks, like a white gold with chump defenses. But Death of Unrighteous, that's another card we just do not see, and I get it. It's because Pale Green is Pale Green right now, but I do think Death of Unrighteous is very good. Suicidal Swine Stampede, like using Sheol and Swine Stampede to kind of like buy yourself some time is huge. Remember, 1 turn of Soul Drought essentially takes away 1 turn from the opponent, so that is massive. You are giving yourself a free turn. So really for this, very fast aggressive offense, very fast deck in general, using numerous to bring out all the heroes and just set up some really strong attacks, mostly off of Mary. I should be able to have a couple chump blocks and a couple to where I can just kind of tango with you, Scattered Sheep and Scattered. So not bad for some blocks. Balaam's Philosophy is actually really good. It's if their deck's protected, I use it on mine. It doesn't matter. But the fact that I can stack their deck and see what they're going to get is very good. So it's actually very underrated how good this card is. But we can go into a quick run. I said I won't take too much time on this. Really just look at all the stars we got. We can show them love one another if we want to. And I only have the Magi. I'm okay, I think, underdecking him with Scattered Sheep just to try to get a block. Really, we're just trying to get resources as quickly as we can. So I'm just trying to think what stars I would do. Like, obviously, discard the top first. Not obviously, I'd probably discard the top card first, look at their reserve, show them Stricken. Now, here's the thing. I'm showing them a bunch of stars. Good players can remember to an extent. I know it's hard to do, but remember what I showed them. And then if I'm going to do Scattered Sheep, I'd have to do the Magi first. So I could top deck a New Testament star card. We really just want like someone that can play numerous for us. and delivered. That's really it. Like we're hoping to deliver it into something else, and then we can underdeck him. Now, if they went first, I would hope that I underdecked their hero, so it just depends on who goes first in that aspect. If not, and they draw, boom, I get a block kind of thing. Like it's simple as that. And then I can top deck a green card from deck, a good dominant from deck, and I can play a Lost Soul from each deck. I'm going to be doing searching anyway, so really all I want to do is I'd like to play a Lost Soul from each deck. And then we're really trying to keep our star cards. I was trying to keep an Emperor to go to Denarius and grab another Emperor. But we really do want to keep all of our star cards to maximize, hoping that we will get a numerous. So we're going to send to the bottom and draw one. So from here, nope, keep that in our hand too. We want to New Covenant. And, what am I doing? We want to take probably the Annunciation or Hospitality. We have a St. Patrick in our hand. I'm just trying to think of our follow-up attack. We don't have anyone to play Annunciation on to go to Crowd's Choice. And if we know we play Delivered, we do not get our numerous, but we could at least get things moving. I mean, just look at Delivered. That was one card. And I got to activate New Covenant and then go to Denarius and get out another card. Put down Emperor. So that Delivered for me was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I was able to gather 5 resources by linking Delivered. So to me, that is very, very good. It's worth being in a deck. So now from here, it's just a matter of do we go straight in with John or do we want like St. Patrick and band in John? I mean, it's turn 1. We have Love One Another. And we would have an interrupt that could bring in. That tosses the next. So it's not bad. We also have our draw 2. And I'll be honest, we got a little lucky there. So now we toss the next. Depends on what they have. They would have to have initiative, play something, and then play something else. And I would still have the resurrection. Like usually I let the opponent toss the first, and then I'll play the resurrection. Or is our stable? Take out our stable, take out Peter. We can flip Peter and then miss the playing of a good New Testament Fortress just to have that Meek in battle, and we can add up to 3. And then if we want to negate evil cards, we can. Just depends on if I think I'm going to win the battle and still have like a Love One Another, and I still have an Annunciation. So even though I don't get the searching, I can still negate cards in battle. So I feel like that's fine. I'm good with that. Rescue. I'm also in a very good spot. I'm also in a very good spot to get to a numerous or just get resources and still have strong attacks. From here, I could still block with a negate and a Nero. Like that's not horrible for turn 2. And then we go into upkeep, and we get a nativity card. They're both good. And then we can flip here. We wanted to grab a good nativity card to play the Annunciation because I can crowd's choice into into numerous. So now we're looking for more star cards. So we're going to use New Covenant to snag Hospitality and play the Annunciation. You know what? I can negate an evil or neutral card. I can attack with Mary and go to reserve and grab like... So I like this card because everyone's reliant on woes, and I like my Herod's Temple. And if they play 3 woes on Herod's Temple, they have to play it as evil, and I negate and reserve their 3 woes. So I actually really like No Need for Spices. So I wouldn't play Annunciation in territory because I would like to play it here. And then I can take a good dominant from deck, go to crowd's choice. Which crowd's choice? Oh, there's that beautiful card. And then now I'm negating things in battle, and this is CBP. So I have a really strong attack right there to where I can interrupt and reserve all, and it's CBP. Now I have crowd's choice. I haven't played my territory class. That was kind of the whole point. Grab numerous. And I know I wanted to do it earlier, but I can still play it now, and I'm good. So I can take 6. So going into turn 3, I'll have, I think that's the rest of my heroes. 1, 2, I can't grab you. 3. So a little weird draw, but I still have very strong, like I said, I still had strong attacks the whole time. And I still get 6 heroes, or I still get up to 6, and I had 3. And from a nativity perspective, what do we got? It should just be the 3. Oh, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So I don't think we need to play Star of Bethlehem yet. I think it's okay to show Saul. So then from here, just a matter of if we get that block or not with Saul. Hoping you just kind of limp into that. Grab the unsuccessful and play it. Saul's a little tricky now because I do think people should play Chronicles, but Glory of the Lord is played in 99% of decks. So Saul blocks and they just play Glory of the Lord. So there's not really anything you can do about that. I did forget to draw 1 on Manger. And we can create a token, and we can discard a card. Don't really know what to discard to draw 2 because we have Star Bethlehem and Mayhem and 4 Drachma coin with Peter down. I just don't think we discard anything to draw 2. I don't need to. Like if you think about it, what am I discarding here to gain 2 cards when I can play cards, then play Mayhem, draw 4, draw 1 if I don't forget about it, grab from Bethlehem Stable. Like I have enough, plus a Star of Bethlehem. I think I said that. I can draw a lot. So go into my upkeep. And we can, like I said at the beginning, we can bring Coming Prince in here for Star to have that even stronger attack. And discard for 4. You're going to go over there. I hopped one. So yeah, now we're at the point where we can once again attack with Mary. We will max out our hand, so we can put down 1 card. We haven't played a territory class, so we could play Balaam's Prophecy on their deck if we wanted to. And then I'd attack with Mary and more than likely have initiative, play Hospitality, take a white card from reserve, and then I can band in as many as I want. I don't think I need to negate evil because I have John the Fisherman. It's any number of NT heroes. So both Ascension, Hospitality, and Child is Born. They don't say humans, so you can just band in a bunch. Don't think I need to band in any others from territory. So I could show you that. Draw 2. I could convert for Lazzy. Don't think I need to. I could draw 2 more, and they would have to reserve an evil card from hand. I'll have to remember my tokens. I can underdeck to draw 1. No point looking at my top 6 because I can't take anything. I could look at their top 6 if I needed Soul Gen. I don't need to, and I have Humble down, so I can create 2 more tokens, and then I think we're good, right? So we reserved their evil character in battle, tossed the next, drew a bunch, got a bunch of resources, and that's really just how it plays. And turn 3 for Numerous is pretty. I still didn't draw for Major. Turn 3 for Numerous is very late for this deck, just because there's so much speed and ways to get anything. If I could already, like I said, I already have strong attacks every turn, and then I can play Numerous and just have everything I want. I am good with that. So from here, getting your hand down is going to be very difficult. We no longer need Mayhem unless we want to mess with the opponent. And I don't like putting every single hero down, nor every single evil character. If they play Ride On, also Ride On, that's another card I'm not seeing played as much. If they play Ride On, then if they get around my Herod's Temple, they Ride On with AOC, like that's it. So I don't love putting everyone down. And I don't think I would need to keep all of these in my hand. So it's just a matter of, do I want to keep the 7-0 that I could play on Gabriel, or do I want to keep the 0-3 that's CBN on Mary? That's really just comes down to it. Like the CBN potentially could be tossed. I'm not seeing Coliseum, but we are seeing the cross. If we suspect there's a cross, I'd keep Child is Born. Also, if we think of like High Priest Ananias, if we're seeing black, then we'd also keep the Ascension. So just knowing gameplay and making the right decisions in the moment. I think we keep Ascension and just flip Mary and be good to go. This is all we have left. I like to have Simon in here. I just haven't really played this deck much, so it's just a matter of going through, deciding what we want. Probably would block from hand, bring someone in, reserve the top, and make it a toss battle. That usually catches people off guard. This is something Caden was doing that Jay's adopted, and that being Herod the Great just splashed in the deck. One, he gets out your temple, another way to get out your temple. 2, discarding a random card from a reserve is good. Like, if I already have Herod's Temple down, I can just come out and discard a random card from their reserve. That's for free. And then I get to choose the hero. I'm a 12/10, and I can activate Herod's Temple, and boom, we're tossing. So just very strong block in general. Some people don't like having just that splash character, and I think it's fine. I think, like I said at the beginning, I think you can splash a lot of evil characters, Moths and Firefoxes and Uzzah and Herod the Great and Saul, and kind of have like those almost guaranteed blocks, and you can just mash them all into your deck. We're not really seeing that anymore. So yeah, I guess that would be the premise of the video, what we're not seeing anymore. So now from here, I got my upkeep, and it only takes a nativity card. So there's no need to search if I'm going to miss the search. That's just me forgetting what's in there. And I can go to my reserve and grab really whatever I want. And then I would play Star of Bethlehem and reveal at least one from here. Probably two. No need for me to draw or anything. 3, 4, 5. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I have 4 nativity. 5. So yeah, those would be my 5. I don't need to draw, so I don't need to activate this stars. I could discard the top card of their deck, 2 evil cards from their reserve, protect good nativity cards from harm, and look at their hand. And now I go out with Mary, who's protected, and I can flip. I can grab No Need for Spices if I wanted to. I probably wouldn't, to be honest. But she's protected, and then I can just band in however many I want. More than likely would win there because Zacchaeus is going to come in. Don't need your multitude, sorry. And that's pretty much it. Bring everyone in. You'll notice I am not playing Woes. And I'm not finding that I need Mayhem. So, and I know not playing Woes is crazy. So maybe Mayhem comes out for Woes. But yeah, I think we're good here. We also have a block off Glory Lord. Like Herod the Great, choose Glory Lord. That's a block. Usually, like they could do add to battle and stuff, but most of the time, Herod the Great, Glory Lord's a block. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Very strong attacks. You're bringing in kind of what Nativity does really well with Mary. Like really just having Mary, one of the best heroes in the game, if not the best hero in the game. And trying to give her protection. Could protect her twice if you bring in Coming Prince. We bring in the speed aspect, and we bring in the mass banding that's so strong, where we're reserving them and tossing the next and negating evil cards and hitting a card from their hand and hitting a card from their deck. Like we are taking out the evil character in battle. We are tossing their next enhancement. So that's two resources there that are wasted. We're going to reserve an evil card in their deck. 3 resources wasted from them. We're going to reserve an evil card from their hand, or they're going to. That's 4 cards just gone. I mean, heck, you could play Sycar with this deck. Like you get a draw 3 off Sycar every time you do a mass band. That's really good. You also have the negate, and that I just refuse to do the manger to draw 1 every turn. Like I said, the only thing I want to incorporate is just looking at their hand and playing and John the Forerunner. I just don't think that's needed in this deck. I think that is a different offense entirely, and I would like to bring in Simon and just choose and then play AOC. But I'm mostly just using the big band cards. Get that flight into Egypt. Um, big band, and then play Glory of the Lord. If they have multiple evil characters in battle, Zacchaeus, one of them. Drop Glory afterwards. Uh, just a lot of good attacks in an offense that just comes together and works really fast. So don't forget what's good. Think about the last couple years. Go back and look at the top 3 decks for Type 1 at Nats. You can look at Jeremy and I's deck for Type 2 and kind of see what we're playing as well, and just kind of what lines up, what cards are consistent. Go back 2 years, go back last year. If you're prepping for Nats, look at previous Nats decks. Usually when a new set comes out, the previous set, we'll say, gets mixed into the meta, but it doesn't dominate still. The new set usually takes over a lot of the meta. We're not going to see that with Rebellion because GOC was so strong, and then Rebellion kind of toned down to a good level. You will see that for Inheritance. The meta will completely shift for Inheritance, and I think that's going to make people excited to where competitive decks are Old Testament as well as New Testament, or you can mix and match offenses and defenses, and you don't just need to run Herods and Emperors for Daenerys and Herod the Great and Temple. You can run Edomites and get a lot of fun, really strong blocks that can just flip the opponent on their head. You can do chumps with Moabites, or if you really want to get into it, craziness, you can go Canaanites and do all sorts of crazy stuff. So you will see the meta completely shift next year. But as for this year at Nats, we kind of know what the meta is. Yeah, Jared and Jaden put out Ashkelon. Babooni Tim showed us Saucy and Nazi Prison, and you can just do a lot of good decks right now. And then we had a really competitive Grand Prix where deck lists were out there. Because I stream, I did a Discord live game and I put my decks online and I do videos. I just didn't put my decks out there because I either show them or talk about them, whatever. So I will put the last deck I used, and I was in Charleston all weekend. There was nothing I could do. Jay's been playing. I had Jay first round. Jay's been playing a lot. Has a really good deck right now, and we agreed upon Tuesday at 8 p.m. and I forgot what was going on Tuesday to where I couldn't even get to my computer, and I made a deck, which was so dumb. I made a deck because I wanted to play something at 7:30, and I was done with it at 7:58, and Jay and I played at 8:03. So just really dumb of me. And then I played misplays. Of course I made misplays, first time playing a new deck. So really needed to just go back to other decks I had and make tweaks instead of playing something brand new. That was really dumb. But yeah, Jay won that game, and Jeremy beat Jake, and Jared beat Justin, and now it went. And Jared's just on this absolute hot streak. So Jared and Jeremy, which is nice to see Jeremy back up there. I know, sure he missed one of the big tournaments. He had to leave for a wedding, and then it's nice seeing him win again because Jeremy is one of the better players in the game right now because he wins in both Type 1 and Type 2 and teams and just pretty much any category Jeremy does very well in. So it's nice to see him playing and winning again. And then he played Jake, who's on an absolute run, one of the better runs we've seen in a long time for Redemption. Just the amount of wins and who he beat. And Jeremy took him down first round. So it'll be very interesting to see him and Jared play. Also, it's great to see Jared back. It's great to see Jared back and winning. I really enjoy when he's playing and doing well. And I don't know what he's playing. I haven't asked him, and I didn't look at the deck lists or anything. So uh, I'm hoping his deck list does come out after the tournament because he's got something good. He beat Justin, and Justin's been on a hot streak too, beating players. So it's going to be really cool to see Jeremy and Jared, the showdown, and then what comes of that and what they were both playing. I know what Jeremy's playing, but what Jared's playing would be really cool. So don't forget things in Redemption that has always worked, still work. Chump blocks still work. Cards like Uzza and Moss and everything, stuff like that still work. Sure, there's a couple dominants that your opponent will have to use, but guess what? They were going to use those dominants to win a Lost Soul anyway, and now they have to use them. Either way, they're going to use them. So, and what I mean by that is if you just go out there with Moss and they drew, and then they play like the Resurrection and band in someone to negate you, either way, they're going to play Resurrection in battle and probably get a Lost Soul. So that's okay. That's really the argument I get all the time is, well, people are just going to play Glory Lord and the Resurrection and Woes. Okay, they're going to play them anyway. So might as well just throw a chump card out there, make them use a dominant. And they were going to get the rescue more than likely regardless. So chump cards are still good. Heyman with Heyman's plot is very good. Uzza's still very good. Numerous has the stars and Delivered. It's all very good cards with a lot of value and quick turnaround on turns. Like, I want it to be my turn. I want you to be done as quick as possible and let me get back in the driver's seat. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll title it something about remembering cards in the game. And it feels good to make a video again. I'll start doing some more content as the week progresses and going into Nats. Thanks, y'all.